Dark days, overwhelmed, trapped in a maze. Small business owner, stress had me in a daze. Every problem piled up, couldn't catch a break. Thought I couldn't make it, my dreams were at stake. But then I found a group that changed my whole perspective. Our success group of a community so effective. We all chasing that dream, sharing struggles and fears. They understood my journey, wiped away my tears. Together we broke through, we rise above. No more feeling stuck, we're fueled by love. Our small business is shining, reaching new heights. With the support of our success group, we're taking flight. The power is strong, the vision so clear. Building our dreams with no more fear. Together we're resilient, unstoppable force. With our success group. Together we broke through, we rise above. No more feeling stuck, we're fueled by love. Our small business is shining, reaching new heights. With the support of our success group, we're taking flight. The power is strong, the vision so clear. Building our dreams with no more fear. Together we're resilient, unstoppable force. With our success group.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rising Tide Talks. I am Kylene Montgomery, and I encourage transformation with positive energy.
And my name's Aaron Montgomery, and I'm with our success group. And we are here to help you guys fall deeper in love with your business, guide, talk, discuss, facilitate the conversation. And as you can see, we are one short today of our trifecta, but Becky is here with us in spirit. She says, "Good evening, RTT squad. I'm with you in spirit. Made it to balmy 75 degrees in Long Beach today. Hope you all had a great week, and I'll be back in person next week." So wishing Becky safe travels out there in Long Beach, and hopefully she'll get some good pictures, and maybe next week will give us a little update and report on what she saw out there when she has an opportunity to get out of the booth that she's in. So
yeah, that sounds great. And 75 degrees sounds great too.
Absolutely. In fact, Chuck checked in right away saying, "Good evening. I hope everyone is staying warm."
Mm-hmm.
And, I know, for us here in the Midwest and on the East Coast, like Craig, it has been chillier than I'm not sure it's like cold, like excessively cold. Maybe it is a little bit, but I think we just got spoiled because we didn't have much of a winter. And so this kind of early spring, late winter is paying us back for that a little bit, I feel like.
Yeah, I think we get spoiled here, and the snow usually doesn't stick around as long, so it feels different this year.
Yeah. And then I know the snow actually went a little further south in the United States than it normally does too. I saw some pictures down in the even down into Texas where they were getting some pretty good snow and stuff.
Yeah, in Hilton Head they had snow on the beach.
Wow.
Yep. Wow. Which is in South Carolina.
Yep. All right. Well, Craig said warm 15 degrees in Boston. Barb says, "Good evening, everyone from North Central Minnesota." Yeah, you guys in Minnesota there. That's no joke cold, I call it. So
I was going to say that's real cold.
Yeah, that's real cold. In fact, here's Barb is 6 degrees here, but at least we are above zero. See, so
there you go.
That's a good thing. And then Darren, hello, good evening. Yeah, Chandler, oh yay. Well, I wouldn't be here if it was 75 degrees either. I love that.
Well said.
Yeah. Good evening, and the cold isn't worth it. Chandler, that's funny. Yeah. All right. Well, without Becky here, Kylene, we're kind of left to our own devices. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. We'll find out. In fact, what we really need is you guys that are tuned in live right now to share what things do you want to talk about? What things are going on in your business right now? What would be a topic that would be useful for you to dig into? We can cover whatever you guys want. I'll come up with some ideas too, but I'd rather talk about what you guys want to talk about. But before we do that, Kylie, and we do have to go back to our superpower. We are
Mhm.
uber close to our book, The Gratitude Shift. So just was thinking about that this morning, how useful of a tool that's going to be, and I can't wait to get that out there. I can't remember what's supposed to be in retrograde starting February 1st, but we're going to go with that as our reason for pushing it back to February 1st.
Yes, yes, I like it. Yeah, we're like super close, so I'm pumped. I can't wait for people to start reading it and just feeling hopefully inspired to use gratitude more. I know all of us here use gratitude. We talk about it a lot here. Um, it really does allow us to attract more good things to us because we're paying attention to it. I mean, it's there, and we just have to choose to acknowledge it and appreciate it. And therefore, we just start training ourselves to look for the good instead of all the problems all the time. So that's why we want to use gratitude here and raise our vibration, bring more positive energy. Excuse me. So, Aaron, you want to start us off with some gratitude today?
I do. I do. Hey, Jerry. Grateful to have Jerry here. That's a great start.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to have everybody that's tuned in. In fact, before I share my gratitude, can I encourage you guys to just take a quick moment and just go share this out into your social media channels? Say, hey, come join us. We're open topic here, talking about whatever business owners want to talk about, and so bring your questions, comments, discussion points, and let's dive into it. I was using that as a way to think through my gratitude here. So many good things to be
That's
grateful for.
amazing.
I'm going to
Yeah.
say new opportunities, just the community that I've been able to surround myself with. I've got a new opportunity happening next week, it looks like. And so maybe some opportunity to meet new people and grow the OSG community, but also kind of expand my facilitation abilities out there into the world, Kylene. So I think I'm going to
Woohoo,
with
that's
that as my
exciting.
gratitude today.
I
What about
like
you,
it.
Kylene?
Well, congrats.
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
great.
Thank you.
Oh man, I have a lot to be grateful for. I think right now what I'm grateful for is the amazing people in my circle that I have supporting me and encouraging me. That's you included, Aaron. I'm just really fortunate to have people that believe in me and support me, but also challenge me. Um, and so I get
I think
outside
I'm
of that comfort zone. Huh?
I think I'm that last part. You said the
Challenge,
first,
yeah.
what were the first two words? And then the third word was challenge. What were the first two words?
Encourage and
Support and
support.
encourage. I
Yeah.
think sometimes you look at me and go, where's the support and encourage? You're just challenging me all the time. So,
Well,
or you are
I would
challenging.
not be here if it was not for you. So I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Jerry. Appreciate you sharing it. Yeah. What are you guys grateful for? Let's get that into the comments here. Tell us what's happening, what's new and good in your world, maybe anything like that. What can we celebrate? I got the pom poms nearby, so we can do a little celebrating. Kylene, what's anything new and good in your world, though?
Oh boy. Well, let's see. New and good. There's a lot of new and good. Hello. Um, Lots of new and good. Where do I start? Well, we hopefully will be, this is a personal thing, but we hopefully will have a different vehicle here soon. So that's exciting. And we're traveling to Milwaukee this weekend for Lewis's volleyball. Um, that's been exciting. Last weekend I had a great yoga class. So I filled it up and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
So lots of good things. How
Uh,
about you?
Yeah. Well, let's get the comments here before
Yeah.
there's some good ones in here. Michelle Wilson shared, "Good afternoon. I'm grateful at this very moment. A couple of local ladies backing me up on a Facebook post dealing with my business. So that's awesome.
Nice.
Appreciate that she's got those kinds of people around her."
Mhm.
Chandler shared, "I'm grateful for my family and the people in my life." Absolutely, that's awesome, Chandler. And then Jerry says, "Glad to have Barb in my life. She adds so much knowledge." That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is really cool. Thanks for sharing that, Jerry. Yes, it's awesome to have you guys around, and the community that's here, and the people that, kind of in general, that are out there in this world trying to help each other out. So love all that. Let's see here. Oh, I know what I was going to also share. Sorry, I've got a spam call there. Okay, so Julie says, I'm grateful for my family and our success group. That's awesome, Julie. We're grateful to be a part of OSG with you. So high five. Do that. You got to work on your high five, Kylene. It's all the way out to the camera. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I made a sound effect. You didn't do that part.
Oh, what was your sound effect?
I was like,
I wonder if we got that. No, we don't have that on the sound effects over here. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to get way off track. No, so you had mentioned the yoga class.
yes.
And I know that it's been a little bit since the virtual yoga had happened. But that is looks like you've got some takers for tomorrow morning. It's an opportunity for anybody to try out some yoga in the comfort of your own home. It's an opportunity. It's for everyone. Like, I'm not a yoga person. I'm not flexible. I'm not this, right? Let go of that and show up for yourself. The movement that you're going to get out of this opportunity to be with Kylene tomorrow morning. Can you tell people a little bit more about that option or opportunity?
For sure. So just remember, yoga is really about learning to quiet your mind and that building that harmony between your mind and your body. Obviously, the strength and flexibility and all the other fun stuff that go with it are great benefits, but it's really about taking that time to reset for yourself. So tomorrow morning, it's virtual over Zoom. It's at 6:30 Central Time, and it's a half-hour class. So just not too long in the morning, but enough to get ourselves motivated, moving, the energy flowing so we can start our day. So go to riseshinesmile.com and you can sign up. It's a donation-based class. So you donate whatever you would like to donate. You don't have to. It's definitely something that I want to share for people because I know how powerful it is. And I don't want that to be what keeps people back.
Absolutely. Love it. Love it. So if you want to do that, you just need people to go kind of register right there. You have to, what's it called? A waiver, I guess is what.
There's a waiver to sign, and then you get sent the link. If you have any questions, just reach out to me directly and let me know you're planning on coming. I'll make sure we have everything we need.
Okay. Awesome. So I know it's bright and early, rise, shine, and smile, and you're going to get Miss Smiley there. So that's also a benefit. I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and you came up again, Stephanie Young. And, she's like, yeah, your wife again, just so calming. Like, I just want to turn on. Jerry, that's a silly time for yoga.
I know. I know.
Julie, are there other times available?
Virtually right now, that is the only one that I do have. Now, I used to do a Tuesday morning one as well at 6:30. Is it the morning that's throwing you off? Or
I think it's the morning thing, Kylene, actually.
The morning thing? Okay. Well, Julie, I'll reach out to you and we'll figure something out. If it is something that, is something you want to add to your life, well, let's talk about it and see what's available. But right now it's just Thursday mornings.
Okay.
Virtually.
Yep. All right. Well, again, you guys just reach out to Kylene though. None of this is like, oh, you have to go register and do all this. Just make it easy on yourself. Just send Kylene a direct message on Facebook, or you can reach out to me and I'll connect you guys, whatever you need there, and figure something out. Kylene is an amazing gift to you to just that mindset and movement all in one. And so this is Kylene's superpower, and you guys should take advantage of that.
Thank you.
Yep. Cool. All right. Morning. Okay. Awesome. Love it. Okay. So there's that, you guys. And again, I don't know if you're just getting here or just tuning in. We want to hear from you guys. What would you like to talk about? What's going on in your business right now that maybe you're looking for some perspective, or maybe you want to just talk through some different ways of thinking about it. One of the big things that we always wanted Rising Tide Talks to be, and this was Becky's idea, is that this is really more about a discussion of some of these things and just kind of digging into perspectives. And those of you that know me know that that is my jam, right? I like kind of being a contrarian a little bit and going, okay, I like that, but have you thought about it this way? And sometimes you can find some really great information in there. And Kylene, you then help talk through that, right? And that's the goal here for today. So we're going to leave that up to you guys a little bit here and keep playing here. And Sandy says, I'm grateful you don't live down south. All right. So appreciate, maybe that was a reply to somebody is what I'm thinking.
Well, the next one says, I don't live down south.
Oh, gotcha. Yep. I missed that. I didn't scroll down far enough. There we go. I'm grateful I don't live down south. Okay. Awesome. So anyhow, let us know, guys, what you want to talk about. I'll come up with something here in a little bit. Yeah. The other thing I wanted to bring up here real quick while we're on the topic of things happening and reaching out to us. And, again, I'm definitely finding my rhythm here a little bit, Kylene, and who I am and what I am and that type of thing. And this word facilitator keeps showing up as I dig into this stuff. And you and I have watched this together. I've watched it myself separately a few times. I think you maybe even watched it yourself separately a few times. But do you remember that show on called The Abundance Code?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, I put this out into the Facebook group, and I think maybe I scheduled it on LinkedIn. I can't remember, but I put it out there a few places just to kind of gauge people's interests. But here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that we, as a group, there's three shows, and they're all about 30 minutes each. So it's a series of 3 shows. And so what I was thinking is we should get together, watch the show together on Zoom, and that'll take 30 minutes. And then we'll use the last half of that hour. So, so we're kind of only carving out about 60 minutes of our evenings, is what I'm thinking, is we'll use that last half hour to discuss what we just heard and talk about ways that we could implement it, talk about what stood out to us, talk about perspectives, and really dig into this idea of living in abundance. So I'm curious, is that something that would be interesting to anyone out there? Kylene, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm definitely interested. I think the more I watch those kinds of shows, every time I watch them, I learn something different, but then learning from everyone else and their how they viewed it and what their meanings and the things that they take from it, I learned from that as well, because I could see things that I even missed, because there's a lot to think about when you watch it, and it's really powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So Julie said, saw your question. I would be interested. Right now, I'm leaning towards actually doing it after this program, maybe like at 7:00 Central Time. So everybody has a moment to, go get, as Becky would call it, supper and dinner or wherever you're at. Or whatever you need to do, right? And then kind of pop back on again, just 60 minutes. So we'd be done by 8:00 Central Time. So even if you're on the East Coast, you're still done by 9. And if you're on the West Coast, then you're a little earlier, and that's okay too. So I was thinking that Wednesday night after this, and I'm thinking of starting after DAX Kansas City, which is in a few weeks in February. So like February 26th ish. Jerry, the name of the series is called The Abundance Code. It's on a TV subscription thing that we have called Gaia. So I would obviously bring the show to the table so we could kind of watch it together. And some of you guys might be able to find it other places, but it was 3 really powerful videos that just make you think differently about how you look at abundance, right? Like It's not about what you are trying to attain. It's about living like you already have it in a sense, is, one of the big kind of takeaways that is there. So, yeah, so think about that. Let me know, reach out, pop in the comments here if you'd be interested. If this, in fact, let's do this. If you are interested and you are either watching the replay or you're watching the live, just type abundance into the comments. Let's make it easy. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. So,
Ian.
what business topics do you guys all have? I don't want to just, not give you guys any value here. We've just been having enough fun chat, and we appreciate you guys being here. But yeah, what's going on right now? I know Becky's obviously out at Impressions, so people are starting to look at. There you go, Jerry. Thank you. People are starting to look at, okay, what's kind of on the horizon. I was having a discussion the other day, and somebody was talking about the fact that they're feeling a little behind already here in January. And I think it has probably a little bit to do with the way that January started, right? Like the first full Monday, I think that everybody really felt like we had started the year was already the 6th. So then, everybody kind of feels like you're a week behind already. And, which is not the case. Nobody's behind, by the way. So just let go of that. Because I felt that too. Like, oh my gosh, it's already going to be February. Oh my gosh, where's time go? Right. But I don't think that's true. So maybe we could talk a little bit about that. But any thoughts around that, Colleen?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been there where if I didn't have, my goals and my review and everything done, that first couple days of January, I felt like I've missed out on all this time. But really, it's just that's kind of in a way made up, right? You still have time, and you're probably doing exactly what you need to do to get there, to get clear about your goals. I know for me, I've spent, I did the workshop and I got through my workbook, and I'm really clear about my number one goal this year. And after going through the workshop, I would just have the ability to reframe things. So before, I used to be like, have a goal here, 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 here. And it was organized, but it seemed like a lot. Whereas this year, just reframing how I'm looking at it, I see how all of these milestones, these little goals, are going to get me to my big goal and who I'm trying to become. So I don't know. I'm really excited, but I think when we put that pressure on ourselves, then we start having that negative response to it, right?
Yeah.
And then you start to resist it, and then you think that you can't do it, and then you start this whole roller coaster again. So I hope no one's doing that to themselves. I know I catch myself every now and then getting back into that old thought pattern.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that thought pattern is just played out so loud on social media, and all of the quote unquote people out there that are coaching you are going to show you exactly how to do this. Here's my big hook. I mean, my reach on social media is terrible. And to be honest with you, I don't care because I'm not interested in kind of giving people that false sense, right? Like, you got to go hustle and here's exactly how to do it. No, you don't, right? Like, who wants to feel that way? And honestly, the more you, like you said, the more you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm behind and all that stuff. Again, right here's my hands. I'm so behind. Look what's happening, right? I'm squeezing all of the energy out right here, where from this, oh, okay, well, let me take this step. You think more clearly, you're more focused, things are easier, you're having more fun, right? The fundamentals of business success has got all caps and fun, because I don't know, if I'm not having fun, what the heck am I doing?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
I can, there's so many other things that you can do outside of being a business owner that could bring in income. So if it's just about income, it's just about, hustling and grind. I mean, I get it, right? I understand that we have to take action. So I'm not talking down to that side of it, but if that's what it's all about, like, follow these steps and you're going to be successful. And if you're not successful, you didn't hustle hard enough. Not true. Right. You weren't aligned with who you are. And you weren't focused on what brought you joy. And we're going to self-sabotage if it's not bringing us joy. So,
Yeah. That just reminded me of one of the participants I had at my yoga class. She brought her husband, and he came, and at the end, he's like, this, he's like, I'm so glad I'm here. I normally I always set my New Year's resolution is to get healthier and to work out every day. He's like, this is the first year I didn't do it, and I'm working out more than I ever have at the beginning of the year because I don't have that pressure that I have to do something, right? It's that get to.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just when you reframe how you view things and the things that you tell, the story that you tell yourself about it, it's so powerful, and how you can create that momentum and energy inside of you.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously, the goals to reality webinar, and then the goal getter workshops, right? I'm a big fan of setting goals, but
Yeah.
it's what the goals are all about is where I think where people get it wrong, right?
Yeah.
We think that goals are this like destination that I'm going to get to this thing, this outcome, but goals are really about that transformation.
Yeah.
Right. So the example that you just gave there of that gentleman, Kylene, is perfect, because he's not trying to, work out every day. That's not his goal. His goal is to become someone that's healthier.
Yep.
Right. And that's the transformation. And when you're going from that kind of view of I'm trying to transform, then the daily steps become just part of who you are, as opposed to, I have to force myself to go work out every day. So it's been really cool to work with people, the people that invested in the Goal Getters workshop, watching how they're interacting with themselves and the world around them. I feel like it's been transformational. It's been very transformational for me, for sure. So,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, let me hit, Chandler. I got your question here. We're gonna get to that, and we'll clarify in just a second. Darren said, unfortunately, I had to cancel my trip to Impressions. Darren, I will. That's a bummer. I'm sorry that you had to do that. I will say, from some of the people that I've talked to, they are not expecting the normal kind of impression-y thing. In fact, I don't know. I think impressions in general has kind of gone downhill. So I would. I don't know. I don't have FOMO this year, so it's maybe it's just me, but I'm super happy to be home. I'm actually really excited about the DAX shows. The new owners are doing some cool things and putting the work in to make sure that they grow that show even more than Scott and Margie had. And so Scott and Margie built a wonderful foundation, and I think the new team's doing some cool stuff. So looking forward to DAX coming up here. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's get, I think I don't have my glasses on, so I'm having a hard time reading some of this.
Okay, I can help. Michelle is next on
Gotcha.
there.
All right. Do you want to read that?
Michelle said, I've been off Facebook a lot this year to deal with personal issues. And today, these ladies brought to my attention some drama that may affect my business. Ooh. Yeah. It's hard to not respond to those moments when they happen.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and I think, one thing I might share here, Kylene, is kind of, yeah, what Michelle, like, that's awesome that somebody's looking out for you, and that they're, but what you do with that drama, I think, is what's really crucial, right? And are you going to create more, or are you going to attract more, or are you going to take it for what it's worth, potential feedback, and then either let it go or, right? Like, and I know this is not the same thing, but we had a bunch of snow here a few weeks back, and it got in the way of a lot of things, right? Obviously, a bunch of snow. We're not used to that much snow here in our area. The plows covered up the mailboxes, blah, blah, blah. There was so much consternation. I'm going to use that word, crazy word, consternation, in the local community Facebook groups about the fact that they weren't getting their mail, right? Like, okay, is this really worth that kind of drama? And so I just started snoozing a bunch of people, and man, my Facebook feed is drama free, and I know that there's still some challenges there. like I was looking for a check and I realized, oh, that's why I haven't seen it in the mailbox yet. So we went and checked, and fortunately it was there, but it could have run down to the post office and picked it up. And if it wasn't in my mailbox. And so I'm not saying anything about your particular situation here, Michelle. I'm just trying to give you an analogy of, we get to choose what happens and then what the quote unquote drama becomes.
Yeah.
Do we dissipate the drama and resolve it? That's a choice that we get to make. Or do we feed into it, right? What are we feeding the field is what I've heard some people talk about, right? And because what you're feeding is what you're also going to be getting back. So
yeah, and there's a fine line with that too, right? Because this is something that I struggled with is, I was kind of the opposite. I just not let it affect me and stay in my little world. But you do have to advocate for you. And this is where you've been really good for me, to address it if needed and then let it go.
Yeah.
Not just, push it off. Sometimes you can push it off and that's okay. But sometimes it's okay to speak up too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think Michelle's done a great job of that in her, situation, advocating for herself and pushing forward. And, so really proud of her for doing that and whatnot. So, yeah. Jerry says, choose your fussiness. Darren, looking forward to Dax. It's just after surgery, so I'll be better. Awesome. I can't wait to see you, Darren. And hopefully we'll be praying for you with surgery and everything that you're going through there. All right. So let's go talk about Chandler's comment here. Can you read that for me?
What do you think about being vendors' places to meet? I'm sorry. What do you think about being vendors' places to market your business? Pros and cons.
Yeah. All right. Chandler, if you're still there, can you help explain that a little bit more before we dive too deep into it? And then we'll tackle that one. But I personally am not 100% sure what we're talking about.
I gotta put Barb's comment up there.
Do you also want to share the story?
Nope.
Oh, come on, Kylie. Yes, you do.
You have to say it. It doesn't sound right for me.
Well, I can say it, but you'll have to explain it. Drama Llama Mama is sometimes what I call Kylene. It came from the socks, right? Like, didn't you have like some socks that had a llama on it? Llama
I had a
Mama?
shirt. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Shirt that said Llama Mama, right? Or what did it say on it?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So what what's the story behind that, Kylene?
I don't know. You have to
Seriously?
say. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, get Chandler's comment then.
All right. Sorry, I forgot a letter. Yes, I mean like paying for a spot at an expo to share your business, like a booth.
Gotcha. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So do you want to tackle that first? And I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Maybe that's a craft fair, a vendor fair, or an expo, trade show like DAX. Maybe it's, something in your particular business field and things like that. So excellent question. And let's dive into that. What's that, Kylene?
I just had to put this up. Get to my question. Kylene doesn't want to talk about it. Oh, you're awesome.
Just a little disappointed. That's all right. Someday you guys will get the real Kylene, but
stop.
All right. So talk about the expo and paying for a booth.
So we've done we did a lot of the DAX shows with OSG. And that was my biggest experience with having a booth at a show to showcase what we do. And I think as long as you have an understanding of who your customer is, your ideal customer, and you know what kind of people are going to come to that show, then it could make sense to do that.
Yeah.
But if you're just going to a show just to talk to people, it might not be worth your time or money.
Yeah. 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 I've done thousands of trade shows across my career, more than I'd like to talk about, and often some far off places. In fact, I used to be responsible for a company, and we would spend north of $100,000 per show. We would have these 40 by 60 booths and spending lots of money, taking lots of people there. And so a lot of stress that went around that, right? You had to kind of hit numbers to make sure that you were paying for that kind of thing. So here's what I'll share. And again, I'm curious to hear from anybody else that's done vendor events. What are the pros and cons, whether that is a vendor event, a trade show, whatever it is for you. Love to hear your comments in there, what you think the pros and cons are. So a couple things. Pro is there is not a better way to build a relationship than being in person with somebody. Right? Even when we figured out some things around COVID and people got better with some of the technology and doing things virtually, obviously we do this. But at the end of the day, to be able to get face to face, sit down with somebody, shake their hand, see the entirety of their body language, the whole nine that comes from being humans, there's no better way. So that part of it right there, I think it can justify a lot of the investments. So that's the pro side. The con side is it is expensive and it is difficult to find the ROI if you're just looking at it on a spreadsheet, right? So I think it's worth being kind of picky and choosy with what you commit to. Like I said, for me, impressions is kind of, I would have a hard time justifying that cost right now. But DAX and Graphics Pro and even Printing United, if you wanted to find something bigger and you're in the decorating space, then I think those are worth looking at. But here's what I would also say. Look for the people that get what it is that you're trying to do, right? Like sometimes I've seen some events where people are basically setting up an event for themselves and then hoping you'll bring all of your people to buy their products, right? And so we know that. No. I've also seen situations where people just want to put on a cool event, but yet they're not marketing it. They're not bringing people in. They're not focused on what's the point of it, right?
Yeah.
So, and something like that. So that's that part of it. So what I would say, if you're looking at doing this, and Chandler or whoever's looking at this, a couple things I would do before I made a commitment to that. I get as much information about the event as I could. How many people they are expecting, what kind of marketing they're going to do, what are the opportunities to collaborate, do Facebook Lives together, cross market with the other vendors or even with the host of the event, that type of thing. So find out all that information as much as you can. Just ask every question you can think of. And then secondly, figure out what your goal is to be there, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to be to make sales, but how many people do you want to connect with, right? And what does that mean? Like, because I could go and spend money and buy the little scanner thing and just, I've been in places where we just wanted the names, right? So you could buy that list if you really wanted to, but I've seen people that go and set up for a show and then they hire some outside person to come and stand in the middle of the aisle and scan badges. Does that really get you anywhere? I don't know. Now you've got to go spend the money to now market to those people and figure out who actually wants to hear from you. Yeah. So I'm not sure I'd do that, but I would, kind of understand what it is that you're trying to do, what it is you're trying to accomplish, get your name out there, because that'll also then change how you show up, right? You don't need spend all the money on the swag and all. I mean, it could be cool, but I think what happens to us is we want to give out our information. I know I made this mistake. Like I've given out hundreds and thousands of business cards, but how many business cards am I getting back? Right? I want their information. I want them to know that I'm interested in doing business with them and to get the okay to reach out to them. Right? So here, just take my business card. That's great. Hopefully somebody will reach back out to me. but now I'm basing my business on hoping. So, have a reason for them to give you their information, but also make sure that they understand that, while they may be entering this drawing, because I did this too, like, oh, here's a drawing and I got all this information and none of it ever turned anything because they just wanted to get into the drawing. Right? It's like, okay, do the drawing, but understand that, this is about us connecting after the show. And so, that way you're not wasting your time trying to reach out to all these people that just wanted a chance at the drawing.
Mm-hmm.
So, hopefully that helps. All right.
Yeah. I mean, even like I just remember the OSG shows that we did, you'd have some free things for people to come grab, and like conversation starters is really what it was about. But
yeah,
I knew immediately the people that just wanted the item and kept on walking, and I didn't try to stop them because clearly they weren't interested. Obviously I'd acknowledge them and say hi and all of that, but
did you then do this too, like oh, sorry, that's a wrestling thing. Sorry, every time I hear the word, every time I hear somebody say acknowledge them or acknowledge me or whatever, right? Sorry,
your brain goes there, huh?
I'm off track days. Keep going with your thought. I apologize.
I don't even remember what it was.
Okay.
But I was just going to say, like, having something, if you're going to do it, really think it out. Know who's going to be there. And like Erin said, understand like what their expectations of the event is. So you're not over preparing depending on what you're going to be offering there. If it's, like with OSG, it wasn't a tangible product they're walking away with, so it was a little bit different. But some people sell tangible things, and you don't want to, I don't know, you want to prepare as best as you can for it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So just make it easy to build connections. And, if you do have a tangible product, make it easy for them to purchase, and make it easy for them to purchase and get it later, that type of thing. Yeah. Because worrying about, oh my gosh, am I going to have enough of this, or might have too much of this? Just go with your gut there. And then when you run out, just make it easy to, take advantage of the offer still. Mm-hmm. And you know what? You're going to maybe lose a little bit on some of those orders, and that's okay, because what you're gaining is knowledge for the next time.
Yep.
So, all right. Sandy says the events I do are where I know my niche customers will be. That's awesome. Yep. Great point, Sandy. Jerry, you're welcome. She says great info. Thank you. All right. So Julie says, Chandler, with a nonprofit, it was worth it for the 2 nonprofit organizations I worked for in Columbia. Erin's statement about face-to-face and informational was great. Love it. Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay. Mm-hmm. Anything else on that, Kylene?
No, I mean, I say if you're hesitant to do it and you think you found one that's a good fit, try it out. It doesn't mean you have to keep doing them, but at least you would know. Yeah, for sure. And I would also, again, say, make sure that, again, you have a goal, you have a plan, but don't be like, oh, I'm just going to go and I'm going to set up and do the booth. And I know it's not for everybody, but hang out afterwards, have a drink, maybe even if you don't drink, grab a soda or grab a water and sit down and be, go to the networking events, kind of talk to people. Don't just kind of be the bump on the log there that sits in your booth and then goes back to your hotel room or goes back home. Participate in all of the activities that are going on too, before the event as well. Like I said, if that organizer doesn't have ways for you to kind of cross promote or kind of show off that you're going to be there or, something like that, then maybe it's not really worth it depending on what they're charging, that kind of thing. So, Yep. Awesome.
All right. Anything else?
You are the expert on trade shows.
As much as I don't want to be. No, that's not true. I loved every second of my trade show experiences.
Yeah.
It is fantastic, right? I still love going to the shows. It just, now at the age I'm at and with the family and stuff like that, it's a totally different ball game because now I'm away from when I was young and single and I was gone, 3 weeks out of the month. That was okay.
Yeah.
But it definitely got old pretty quick. So now I'm a lot more choosy in what I do. So,
Yep. That's good.
all right, cool. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground here tonight without having a specific topic. I thought
Yeah.
you guys did fantastic. Thanks for being here, and thanks for adding to the conversation. So make sure you guys are reaching out to Kylene for the yoga, whether or not you can make it tomorrow morning. And 6:30 is early. Try it anyhow.
Yes.
Give
Yes.
it a shot.
Reach out.
Jerry asked, do I still have the blow up couch? Absolutely. I have two, actually, Jerry. In fact, if anybody wants them, they might be for sale. Who knows? Love it. So make sure that you show up for yoga, or at least you're reaching out to Kylene about it. And even if there's not a time that's exactly right for you, just reach out. Who knows, right? There's plenty of opportunities. Any movement that we can get is good. So we need to do that. Even as business owners, right? We are a holistic person, and Doug says, I remember the red beer with an orange. Absolutely, that was my days back in Atlantic City at Planet Hollywood. Have I told you? Yeah, I've told you that story, Kylene. I'll quickly tell the story. Okay, so when I remember the company I told you about that we were spending $100,000 on a show and that type of thing. Well, we would go, and one of the shows we went to was Atlantic City, and it always happened right around St. Patrick's Day, and we would go, and there was a Planet Hollywood inside of the Caesar's Palace that kind of became our hangout spot. And because we were going with these big, huge booths and everything like that, my buddy that I do the podcast with, Terry Combs, and we would be in there for a full solid week. So we're in Atlantic City for a whole week, and we would pretty much every night after we were done with the show or setup or whatever, we would end up at Planet Hollywood eating chicken wings and drinking Killian's Irish Red with an orange slice in it. And so we do that. We kind of spend a lot of time and maybe a lot of money there. And then, we go home. The next year we come back. First night we walk into Planet Hollywood, and Terry and I are sitting there at the bar, and we order our usual wings and red beer. And, we're in New Jersey, and so people are a little bit different than maybe used to in the Midwest or Arizona at the time. And the bartender lady just looked at us, we thought that she kind of looked at us in disgust and then walked away. And we're like, oh, okay, well, and but like our order got put in, the beer stuff. She goes to the back, comes back out with a crate of oranges and sticks them on the bar, and she's like, I remember you guys.
Oh my God.
A whole year later, we were memorable. So we had a little bit of fun there. And
there's probably more to that story that we're not sharing too.
I got most of it. I mean, like I said, we spent a lot of time there. We drank a lot of Killian's with orange slices. If you've not done that, give it a try. If you're a beer drinker,
never had it. Yeah.
Just adding the orange, I think, because I'm not a huge fan of red beer. It's got a kind of a yucky aftertaste to me, but adding that orange in there just makes it awesome. So, oh boy, Chuck, we're going to get me started here. Speaking of chicken wings, the question: ranch or blue cheese? Blue cheese. I'm a ranch guy. Terry's the blue cheese guy. So anyhow. So that was my
cool.
Doug, my friend, who's actually in the home building business. He's from that area, though, up there in New Jersey. And he would every once in a while come visit us in Atlantic City and hang out with us and have a couple red beers and oranges, even though he wasn't a garment decorator like the rest of us. So he'd come and hang. So appreciate that, Doug.
That's cool.
Speaking of Doug, you guys need to start putting a little money away. He's doing a project in the Virgin Islands that I think you want to be a part of. I just saw his initial video. I hope I'm not giving it away, Doug, but let's all go down to the Virgin Islands soon.
I'm in.
All right. Okay. So anything else, Kylene?
No, I think this is a great show. Thank you, everyone, for sharing and being a part of the conversation. We appreciate it. We all learn together and grow together.
Awesome. All right, everybody. High five, Kylene. Good job. And we will see you guys next week. We'll have Becky back with us. Make sure that you tune in to Small Business Saturday coming up this Saturday. It will be recorded. So you will see me as a recorded version because we will be in Milwaukee at a volleyball tournament. But I will check all the comments and try to reply to every single one. So if you've put a comment in there, a question in there, and I didn't reply to it, please ping me again or tag me or let me know or whatever, because I think I've gotten all of them, but I never want to miss anybody. So anyhow, we'll talk to you guys kind of not in person, but kind of on Saturday. And then we'll be back here next Wednesday. All right. Have a great evening, everybody.
All right. Bye.